What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Game Time Live. I am Isaiah Hoffman with my welcome back. Actually, my partner in crime. It's good to have you back, Darrell. As you can see, I've got our original music from our recorded stuff. I got it implemented in here into StreamYard. And so now we've got it in here for when we open the show. So there we go, making some upgrades.
Good deal. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love for sure.
It's good to have you back. I hope Darren's doing well in Colorado. But it is good. It is good to have you back for sure.
Yeah, man. It's good to be back, man. It was a nice 5-day break, man, to kind of get away, recharge your batteries from work and the real life stuff. Spending time with your baby boy is always good, man. He's all we did, man, was we talked sports, man, the whole time.
There you go.
I mean, we should have recorded it, man. We were talking. He's gotten in depth, man. He's on it, man. He is really putting in work between obviously serving our country and taking care of business. So yeah, it was good, man. It really was good.
Awesome. Always good to hear from Darren, and glad he is doing well. But Darrell, it is time to get into it. We've got a lot to cover here today. I obviously want to get your thoughts on the MLB since you were not here with us on Sunday. But we're going to start with the NFL trade deadline. You know what I usually do? I will hand it to you first to kind of open up the conversation while I edit YouTube and all that. So go ahead.
Well, I tell you, man, there was a fever pitch, 11th hour deals for me, capped off by the Indianapolis Colts getting Sauce Gardner from the Jets for 2 number ones and Adonai Mitchell. I think, Adonai Mitchell dropping that ball, I think that kind of secured his opportunity to be leaving the Indianapolis area. But for me, I don't think Sauce Gardner is the player that he's got the reputation for right now, right? He's not a bad player or anything like that. I just don't know that 2 ones and Adonai Mitchell were the answer for a guy who, based off of PFF ratings, has continued to decline. And a lot of people say, well, I don't go off of PFF, and that's fine. But PFF is more neutral than a Pro Bowl appearance, than an All-Pro appearance. It's based off of your numerical numbers that you bring to the table each and every week, right? This is a guy who came from Cincinnati. He had the nickname, I think, when he was in 10th or 11th grade. High draft pick, did some good things in the first year playing for the Jets. My challenge is, since his rookie season, there's been some drop-off. I think he's going to be an effective player for the Colts. I just question the effectiveness as that player for 2 number ones and Adonai Mitchell. That's all I'm saying, right? I hope it works out for the Colts, obviously, right? He looks as though he's going to be playing this weekend overseas. He's cleared the concussion protocol, so there shouldn't be any limitations with regard to what Mr. Gardner can do. I'll be watching at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday for sure to see how he does. Not just him, but the team. They go into a bye week after this. They could go into the bye week at 8-2. That's a pretty good feeling, especially after these 2 knuckleheads here on this show had them winning no more than 8 games with the quarterback, right, with Daniel Jones. So if they can go 8-2 for the break,
we were the knuckleheads. There we go.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about, right? So with that said, I the Colts are a surprise team in the NFL, and I think most would say with working to get Sauce Gardner and making some other moves, they're trying to keep their foot on the gas and let people know that this is the year we're trying to win. We're not waiting to 2027, 2028. So, kudos to the Colts. The other part of that, Dallas Cowboys, man. I'm gonna get to the best for last, but the Dallas Cowboys, man. Jerry Jones said, you know what? We're 3-5-1, but we got 3 wins. We got a tie. Let's go get a run stopper. Let's get a guy that can put, some heat on the running game so they're forced to pass. The challenge is the defensive backfield for the Cowboys. Ball tracking skills is really bad. So I don't know if this is going to – I hope it doesn't turn out into a negative, but getting Quentin Williams for 1 number one, I think is a fair get. There's been a lot of talk about him not getting sacks. He's not a sack guy anyway.
Yeah.
He's not a sack guy. He's a run stopper and a disruptor. If he can continue to be that disruptor, I think the Dallas Cowboys made a great move by grabbing him and putting him, on their team. Man, for me, the last one, but not least, is my Philadelphia Eagles, man. Man, them dudes are going. Jalen Phillips, Jerry Alexander, Michael Carter. These aren't guys that are in their prime anymore, than their best years or ahead of them. But these guys got a lot in the tank, veteran presence, guys that were used to winning. They've got an opportunity now in Philadelphia with those moves and what they gave up. They gave up a 3rd rounder, a 6th rounder, and they gave up John Mechie, who's from Alabama. Came in with the cancer issue, cleared to play. What wasn't fitting, wasn't working out. So they didn't give up a whole lot to get these players. They could be rentals, but this is the year end. They're in a they're looking to repeat, and I think this gives them a better chance to repeat than they had prior to making the deals. So kudos to those 3 teams trying to make things happen.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for the Colts. Obviously, my stepdad's a Colts fan. I live in a Colts household, and the excitement was through the roof. And I was excited too, right, to see that the Colts were able to get that done. I think they're contenders, right? I've had them in my Super Bowl tier list I've had them in the Super Bowl tier for the last couple of weeks now. So I think they're going to be contenders, to say the very least. We'll see how they do. Obviously, that Steelers loss has a couple people worried a little bit just because Daniel Jones kind of reverted to old Daniel Jones ways. We'll see if that continues, but I like what the Colts are doing. And I saw something where it said, I guess Carly Ursay-Gordon, she said, do you want to Band-Aid the problem or do you want to fix the problem? And that's what kind of made Ballard go out and trade for Sauce Gardner. So props to Carly Ursay-Gordon. She is getting it done over there. She's getting it done in Indianapolis. And you know what? I don't like to do this. I don't want to do this, but I have no choice but to do it. I apologize to Jerry Jones and for my explosive reaction about the Micah Parsons trade. He was right, and it's landed us Quentin Williams. He said after trading Micah, we want to stop the run. And everyone was like, well, this team, you traded Micah, it's not built to stop the run. It looks a little better now, and it should be able to stop the run. I think this is not – if it were me right now and talking to, obviously a lot of my family is Cowboy fans on my dad's side and my mom's side, because some of them live in Texas. And I think the sentiment is still very, let's miss the playoffs, let's get a draft pick. But we'll see what happens, right? If they happen to win out, that's the best case scenario. If they can win and maybe lose 2 more games, that's not bad either. We'll see what happens. I think going to the playoffs this year would be not the best scenario, just because I think a draft pick would mean way more to you guys, especially when you have 2 number ones. But maybe that's more of a reason to go try to make the playoffs. I don't really know. So we'll see what happens with Dallas this season. Indianapolis, I think, is a Super Bowl contender. I think Dallas can make the playoffs. But as a Cowboys fan, I would not want them to make the playoffs. I don't think either team gave up that much, Darrell. I got
to throw in. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention. I didn't mention Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked about that on the phone the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, I know I'm missing something, and I got my information pulled up here. Hey, they got a 7th round pick. They gave up a 7th round pick for him, and this is a guy who's under contract too. Yeah. So yes, he was benched in Cincinnati, but everybody should be benched in Cincinnati. So with that said, new look Dallas Cowboys. We'll see. And I know you apologize, but yeah, I see nothing wrong with going forward this year as well. Things can happen. You look what happened with the Redskins, injured quarterback, right? You look at the Giants situation, right? Philadelphia looks mortal now, so you still got another game with them. Things can shake out, and out of this, these last 9 games, if you go 5-4, now you're looking at an opportunity. You look at your 8 wins, 1 tie, and now you're probably a wild card team.
Yeah,
and that's not a stretch. It's not a crazy stretch. I'm not saying they can go 6-2, 7-1. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how does the next 3 games will probably tell a tale for them though. They can't go out of this 3 games 1-3. at worst 2-3, but they really want to be probably 3-0 coming out of that.
Yeah, I really like what both teams did, and then everyone's talking about, well, the Colts gave up 2 number ones, they gave up a Donnie Mitchell. I think obviously, and if I'm being honest, the worst, what I hate that they gave up most was a Donnie Mitchell. The 2 number ones. If you're thinking like Ballard and you're thinking like Ursay Gordon, you're thinking these 2 number ones are going to be at the bottom of the draft, right? If you're in your mind, if the way this team is played, their trajectory is bottom of the draft, for bottom of the first round. So those picks aren't that big of a deal. If anything, Donnie Mitchell's probably the biggest asset in that whole trade, because Donnie Mitchell goes from being the 3rd receiver on the depth chart to maybe being the 2nd. Yeah,
he's number 2. Yeah.
So he gets to see more playing time and maybe more an expanded role. I think Donnie Mitchell still has a lot of talent. Sauce Gardner is, we talked about it a little bit with the NBA playing point guard by committee, playing a certain position by committee. I think the secondary for Indianapolis. Now, you talked about how Sauce Gardner has gotten worse over time, right? I think now that he's going to be surrounded by what has already been talked about as a very good secondary this year, you now put him with a group of a really good secondary where you can
veteran group, a veteran group too.
You can maybe mask those flaws that he has, right? Because he has flaws. Every corner has flaws, I think this will help mask those flaws a little bit. We're out in New York. Secondary wasn't bad, but it wasn't as filled out as Indianapolis' secondary.
Well, also too, you playing in New York is a hell of a lot different than playing in Indianapolis. Okay,
yeah, I
just call it like it is, right? You have a respectable offense in Indianapolis, where your offense in New York, granted, we love the quarterback. Well, I love the quarterback for the Jets, Justin Fields, but being realistic about it, he's better at fantasy football than real football. And getting off the field, really quickly puts a lot of pressure on your defense. So, and the running game with Breece Hall was non-existent. So now you go from Breece Hall to JT, best running back in the AFC, right? A guy is on pace
in the NFL,
on pace for 1,500 yards rushing and about 18 TDs. So maybe that'll help him as well. So all's not lost. I mean, I commend them for going for it.
I do want to give a shout out real quick to our good friend Cascade Hoops Talk. I got to meet him on Monday, Darrell. I think I told you, and it was awesome to meet him in person. Really great, down to earth guy. I mean, he's doing a whole road trip. He was in Indiana literally a couple days ago. Now he's in Arizona, checking out Arizona Christian University, one of the top NAIA programs in basketball. So I got to give a big shout out to him. And then obviously we're about 13 minutes into the show, so let me give also a thank you to Matt Gaddis, our sponsor of the Game Time podcast as well. A lot of this wouldn't be available without Matt Gaddis, so a big thank you to him. Darrell, your thoughts on the NFL season so far? Obviously, we have been bouncing around talking about the NBA a little bit more. We've got college football we're going to hit on here in a little bit. But as we get closer and closer to December and January, where it's going to start to matter a little bit more, who's in your mind right now, who's the best team in the NFL, and who's a team where it's like if the playoffs started today, you wouldn't want to see that team right now, like someone that isn't going to get a bye or isn't like a top 2 seed, where it's like, man, if we play them right now, we're going to be in for a battle.
See, Isaiah, this is why I love NFL football. Man, I could name 5 or 6 teams right there.
Yeah. Give me one though. Give me one. One that really.
The one, I'll go in reverse order though. I'll go for the team you don't want to play. That's the Patriots, man.
Yep.
The Patriots are a team that has gotten better and better. I think they won 5 or 6 in a row. Drake May's been sacked 22 times over the last 4 games. He hasn't been rattled. He's continued to get the ball down the field. And even in spite of Ramondre Stevenson's fumbles and then the lackluster play from the rookie running back from Ohio State, they're 7-2, leading their division, the same division that the Buffalo Bills have owned for the last 5 or 6 years. They are a real threat to the Buffalo Bills and their kingship for that division. And I tell you this, with that coach who's motivated, who gets it, I wouldn't want to play the Patriots. I wouldn't want to play the Patriots. And I think in the AFC, as I look at this, I think the Patriots, the Bills, and the Colts, as it's starting to shake out for me, are the three teams in the AFC. And I want to stay on the AFC really quick. I know there's been a lot of love towards, certain teams and all y'all. I've been giving a lot of love towards, the Titans. They've, the Titans, I'm sorry, excuse me, the Texans. They, had a couple of wins, but they've got to string together some wins because that defense can't do it by itself. And now you got C.J. Stroud out again this week. That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one. And then my last one is the Broncos. Smoke and mirrors. They got handed that game to them last night. Those referees moved that ball on that fourth down. It was moved about 3/4 of a yard. That was not a first down in the fourth quarter for them. They got lucky with that field goal, and luckily for them, they got the putrid Mr. Smith, Geno Smith, who can't get out of his way. All I could hear was the Benny Hill music when he's in the pocket running around looking lost, right? He got hurt, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Yeah. But hurt or not hurt, he was still playing the exact same way, playing scared. The pocket, he had time a couple times, and he panicked. Yeah, I think they got him 6 times, sacked him 6 times, but there was probably 3 or 4 of the passes that he felt like he was sacked. Mm-hmm. So Broncos got over last night. Their quarterback threw for about 150 yards. They had no running game. The Oakland Raiders, the Vegas Raiders stopped them, punched them in the mouth. And I'm so sick and tired of those two on Thursday night doing the broadcast game. They're sickening. You can tell they're definitely fans of the Denver Broncos and their coach. Can't stand it. And it seems like they both had money on the game because they kept talking about, well, wait a minute, the Broncos need to throw the ball down the field some.
Who? Herb Street and Mike?
Yeah, I can't stand them. Can't stand them. They sound like fanboys to me. I'm listening to the game neutral. I don't have a stake in the game. I'm listening from a neutral perspective, and it just like when they were playing, whoever Denver was playing on a national televised game a couple of weeks ago, same thing. Like they're rooting on Sean Payton, rooting on this team for whatever reason. I don't hear that at other teams that they broadcast for. So that's disappointing for me. So I'll probably start turning the volume down and not listen to them because they've got a betting bias, and for some reason Sean Payton is paying them to be very complimentary because they looked like garbage last night. If it wasn't the Raiders, they would have got beat by 2 touchdowns.
Interesting.
So that's my take on them. Yeah, they're 8-2, but I promise you they'll be one and done. They'll be one and done.
My dark horse, I'm going to go to the NFC. My dark horse is the Seattle Seahawks, and I called this very early on as we got into the season. I said I like Seattle. They've got the pieces to put it together, and they are putting it together. And I like what I'm seeing from Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jabba, he talked very highly about Cooper Kupp after Sunday Night Football and just how much he's helped him grow and kind of step into this wide receiver one role. And you're seeing it with Jabba and Sam Darnold. He's just putting the ball where he needs to put the ball. I mean, it's simple as that. And I gotta respect what Seattle's doing. They're a 3rd seed right now. I would say they have arrived. I'm calling them a dark horse, but I think they have arrived. I think they're going to be hard to beat. I could probably put the Rams in that same spot as well, where it's like you probably don't want to see the Rams depending on who you got to play. But right now, the team that I'm not buying so heavily on is, I think it's in the AFC. I was going to say Denver as well. So I guess I'll agree with you with Denver, but I'm still going to say the Steelers too. I'm not really too high on the Steelers quite yet. I know they just beat the Colts. So they're going to continue to have to convince me, but they're in the playoffs right now. So credit to them, but I'm not, when I look at all the teams in the playoffs, I'm telling you right now, I just saw a comment pop up. This is probably Brandon, isn't it? Oh, it's not Brandon. All right. It's Eli. Our good buddy Eli, not high on the Colts. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Hey, this is the show that allows opinions. We don't cut people off and tell you your opinion is wrong because it's yours. Because if it's your opinion, it's right. So it's okay.
Eli, I got an interview coming out later today. Our second interview with Coach Hester for the weekly interview series. And I gave you a shout out in that interview along with Noah as well. So that'll be coming out after we're done with the live stream today. IU East is on the road. They're traveling to Georgia to take on Reinhardt tomorrow. So good luck to Coach Hester and crew. But I think right now when you look at the AFC, right, the Jaguars are actually the 7th seed. The Chiefs are 8th, so they wouldn't even make the playoffs. But I would say right now, I agree with you at Denver. I don't buy Pittsburgh, and I really don't buy Jacksonville. I was super high on Jacksonville, but after that, it felt like that Kansas City game was their Super Bowl because they've been up and down ever since.
Can you imagine, though, if this happens? Colts lose and Jaguars win. They're one game out of first place.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why I love the NFL, right? It's talent is so close, and just like you saw last night with the Raiders and Denver, Raiders are a horrific team. They are, and they should have beat, quote unquote, the best team in the AFC because they've got 8 wins and nobody else has 8.
Yeah,
right. So that's what you love about this, man. On any given Sunday, or in this case now, any given Thursday, Friday, Monday, whatever other day of the week the NFL is being played on.
Hey, I'd keep an eye out on the Panthers. 5-4. I'd keep an eye out on them. They're sitting. They're not going to take the. Oh, I mean, they're not even far back from Tampa, but they're probably not going to take the division.
And they got the putrid New Orleans Saints this weekend.
They're Carolina. Keep an eye on Carolina. They're right behind.
Realistically, they could be 6-4 after 10 games. And remember, you and Ramon had them at, I think, 31 or 32. Or in that area.
I had them pretty low.
Yeah. I think we all had the Saints as worst. And that's bore out. But man, the Panthers, the thing is, they winning on defense. They're playing good defense. Bryce Young is not turning the ball over, and he's probably throwing for about 150 yards a game.
Yeah.
Hey, if that works, why do anything different?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, or do you want him to be Dan Marino throwing for 350 yards a game and losing?
No,
I'd rather my quarterback throw for 150 and win than throw for 350 and lose.
Yeah. There's still a lot of teams that can make the playoffs, right? The Bears and the Lions are tied. And then, the Panthers are 5-4. So the other 2 teams ahead of them just haven't had a bye week yet. This is going to get real, or I guess they have had their bye week. The Panthers have not had their bye week. It'd be vice versa. Yeah. But it's close. It's close in the NFC and it's close in the AFC. I mean, we're at a point right now where the Chiefs wouldn't be in the playoffs. That's insane.
I got a question. What about them damn Chicago Bears, man?
Yeah, and I told you. I said it. I did say it,
man. I said they got a quarterback with a rifle arm. Granted, he always goes to his right. He doesn't like going to his left. Yeah. And on the left side is Roma Dunze, by the way. That's why, in part, Roma Dunze hasn't had very many catches. He's flushing to his right. And I think Roma Dunze is the ex-receiver. So that's on the left. Yeah. So, but I'm telling you, man, he's got a cannon, and he abused Cincinnati Bengals, right? That team is about to blow up. Someone said on one of the NFL shows, it said, I wouldn't be surprised there were multiple fights in the locker room that evening after that game, after the way they played, especially seeing how the offensive players came off the field and all were saying things like one effing stop, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you're saying that publicly. And this is an NFL locker room. Oh, it was some hands being thrown in that locker room. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, indeed. Man, NFL's getting excited. I mean, we're at a great point in sports right now. Yeah. Darrell, I want to pull up the bracket real quick, the first bracket. But before we do that, I want you to get your thoughts out on the MLB. I told you last night, I talked to my friends that are a little more MLB fanatics than us. The lockout wouldn't happen this year. It would technically happen next year. So, but I do want to get your thoughts, since you weren't here with me and Ramon on Sunday, about the MLB season and just kind of what the future of it could be for them.
When you had said that, it threw me off. I was like, well, they got one more year in the CBA. The challenge is this, right? And I've said this to, we talked about this individually. The challenge is going to be the revenue sharing.
Yeah.
It's going to all come down to revenue sharing. The players have said no cap. We're a hard line, no cap. We're not going there, right? So the owners either A, they're going to blink, or B, they're going to dig their heels in the sand and lock the players out after next season.
Yep.
If, in fact, they do that, the sticking point is really simple. Salary cap, what are you going to give up if we do agree to a salary cap as players? What you're going to have to give up is your revenue. And if I remember right, I looked, and I don't have it up, but I'm trying to go off of memory because I looked at all three major sports. I want to say that baseball is 47-52 and is leaning towards the owners at the 52. I think that'll have to flip if, in fact, the players succumb to allowing a salary cap. People say, well, it's only 5%. What's the big deal? That's 5% of their gross, not net. This is gross, right? So that's going to be your hang up. And we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but it's really easy. Will the players get that 4 or 5% flip? If they won't, they won't. If they will, they will.
They will.
I mean, and in all seriousness, that's it. You know, coming off the heels of probably one of the greatest World Series that played in probably the last 15, 20 years. You know, you got, people saying, oh, the Dodgers should have won. They get paid the most money. The guys that get paid the most money don't always win. You still got to get it done on the field. And granted, a couple of things bounced their way. They were kind of oddball things. It looked as though the replay was wrong with regard to the Toronto player sliding in the home base, which he shouldn't have slid because it was a forced play. You don't have to slide. You know, if you are going to slide, you probably should go head first in that situation, not feet first. But neither here nor there. Great World Series. Congratulations to the Dodgers. But my Yankees will be back next year ready to roll.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But Darrell, time to get into what you're most excited to talk about, right? Let's go ahead and pull it up. CFB bracket has been released. So we'll go ahead and pull this up right here. This is what we've got. This is what we've got. Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, A&M 3, Bama 4.
Listen, football is just getting more and more. It's such a crush now, man. And as you see every week, each and every week, there's something different. There's somebody winning, somebody losing, somebody being upset. And this week is no different. We got Memphis starting off tonight. They play Tulane. No. And people say, oh, Tulane's nothing. Tulane has been a thorn in Memphis' side for a while, right? If Memphis does not have any leeway for losses, right? Because Navy's chipping at their heels, and they've got Navy at the end of the season, right? Yeah. Then you flip it. Then you talk about your 4 top seeds, right? Alabama, Ohio State, A&M, and Indiana. Man, as it stands right now, can anyone complain about those 4 teams being the best 4 teams? I don't think you can. But I think there can be debate about who's number 1 and who's number 2. Yeah. And I understand we do a lot of OH in here, but I'm going to give you some IU. I'm going to give you some IU in here. All IU have done is everybody's gotten in their way from last year to this year, and we want to talk about last year, we can, but I like to prefer sticking to 1 year this year. Yeah. They kicked everybody's tail in front of them and didn't apologize about beating them down. My partner, JB, on Crossroads keeps saying that, hey, he's fearful of Signetti running up the score. Are people going to keep receipts? What I said was, Indiana's been keeping receipts for the last 25 years. Yeah. They've been getting their butts handed to them. So this is some get back. And as soon as Indiana has a close game, guess what happens? People start outwardly doubting them. Look at the Iowa game. Oh, they only beat them by 5 points. Oh, it was only Iowa. Guess who has Iowa this weekend?
Oregon.
Ta-da. Absolutely. Let's see what happens, right? We know Indiana kicked them in the tail. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a close game, very similar to Indiana, and if the ball bounces a certain way, I can see Iowa coming away with the win. Oregon's had some controversy this week. Their top backup cornerback left the team. 5-star out of I think it was out of Georgia. He had he was on the bench, track star. I forget his name off the top of my head. But they were asked about him, and he just didn't show up. He hadn't shown up, and it looks like he's quit the team. So they got a little bit of adversity going this week. So maybe there's some talk, and then all of a sudden you see, Iowa take care of business against Oregon this weekend.
Yeah. I like this bracket. It's interesting, right? Texas first team out. Oklahoma second team out. Texas being the first team out. But I think Texas will be in by the time we get to By the time we get there, Texas.
Yeah,
will
we
be
talked
in.
about this. We talked about this. This
Because
thing.
there's no way Memphis. There's no way Memphis stays.
No, don't say no way. They're a group of 4, and their conference is going to be one of those teams. It's going to either be them or probably Navy. And tonight's game is going to go far in Memphis having an opportunity.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If a group of 4 team has to be in, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They're the best group of 4 team as it shows right now.
So they're one group of that's the rule.
Yeah,
one group of 4 team has to be in. Okay. All right. Never mind. Then they'll make it.
But with that said, it starts tonight. We talk. We're looking at this bracket here. So man, the playoff starts in the end of December. No. Not so fast, my friend. The playoff starts now. Look
when
at
the first bracket drops. That's when it's time.
Look at the games we've got. We've got Tulane and Memphis starting tonight. BYU and Texas Tech. That's going to shake some things out. You got Indiana and Penn State. Remember, I told y'all 3 weeks ago, I'm really still worried about Penn State. A&M and Missouri, big game. So let's not, then there's some shady games too. You got Notre Dame versus Navy. That's going to go far in seeing how real Navy is, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Navy is as real as people are saying it, but we can find out, and we will find out. But as it stands right now, there's not a lot of big headline games other than that one. And again, of course, my boys have LSU and T-Town tomorrow. That's going to be a good game, right? If Brian Kelly was still there, I would say take Bam in the points.
Yep.
Nussmeier, there's a chance he may be on the bench. There's talk in the Bayou country about starting the quarterback for Mississippi State. He's athletic. He's versatile. He can run. Can't pass as well. But there's going to be a lot of things shaking out this weekend. Don't be surprised if Auburn beats Vanderbilt in Vandy this weekend. I know we love hating on Auburn and all of that. There's only 3 teams in the country they've not allowed more than 24 points in this season.
Yeah,
that's Ohio State, who hasn't played anybody. That's Indiana, and that's Auburn. Only 3 teams have not allowed more than 24 points all season long.
Mm-hmm.
We can knock Auburn we want from an offensive perspective, but their defense is the truth. So don't be surprised if you come up and you on Saturday night, it's a 17-10 win by Auburn or 17-10 win by Vandy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's some good games going on this weekend. But this is our time, man. This is that college football playoff time now, and it doesn't stop for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of sports, right? College basketball, NBA, NFL, college football. I mean, it's all over the place right now. There's a lot going on. It's an exciting time to be a sport fan. But Darrell, before I want to go to something else that isn't sports, but I do want your thoughts on it real quick, right? Okay. Did you see? I'm gonna play some music in the background. This could be a little bring us down section real quick before we get back into more sports talk. Did you see the Michael Jackson biopic trailer? Have you seen that yet? The movie biopic?
Oh, man,
you gotta watch it.
I'll watch movies when the season. I'll watch movies when the season's over, man.
Look. I know. Look, you guys mess with me about my age and everything else, but I grew up on the Michael Jackson music and the DVDs and everything else. So seeing that biopic and seeing it's Michael's nephew Jafar playing him as Michael, and man, I encourage you to go watch the trailer. I mean, It looks, and I love Michael Jackson.
I'll commit to this. I'll watch it between now and the 1st of March.
Oh my goodness!
I got some things going on from
I know
world that has me captivated. And oh, by the way, I got to send a special shout out to my baby girl number 2, Dakota Cochran. She starts her season out for the YMCA this weekend. She's a little hooper. She's a 6-year-old, and my girl's ready to roll, man. She loves hoops, man, and I can't think of a better coach for her than her pop. I won't be coaching her this year. I'll be sitting in the stands. I'll be sitting in the stands watching, but I will be critiquing her coach. Believe me. And if things go wrong, I may be having to stand in.
There you go. There you go.
So it's for right now, from November to March, it's grandbabies and sports, man. If it's not one of those two things, I'm sorry, man.
No, you're all good. I saw that trailer. I was like, man, I wonder what I definitely wanted to get your thoughts on that. Next up, before we get into NBA or back to college football, folks, this Sunday we've got assistant coach Joshua Jones coming.
Who's that again?
Warren Central grad, North Dakota State assistant coach Joshua Jones coming on the pod. I got some great texts from people saying, man, you got this person on the pod. I said, no, I didn't get this person. My wonderful co-host D. Cott got this person for us.
Hey, nothing but love for Dub C. And I know there's a bias in every podcast out there, and we've got our bias as well. And our bias is that Dub C moniker, right? So I look forward to talking to Josh. We've talked a couple times via the phone. Again, special shout out to Cott Jr., my oldest son, similar age as Josh, familiar with him, and definitely, man, these guys are coming strong. He's excited to be on board with us. Josh is doing big things way out west, northwest, North Dakota State University. Hey, good. I look forward to it. We're gonna hit him with some stuff too. We're not throwing out layups, right? We don't want to paint him in the corner, but we're gonna hit some hard hitting things, and we're gonna relish on his opportunity to be great, and we want to accentuate that for sure.
And you talk about we were just talking about college football, right? North Dakota State, one of the better college football programs. At the
Maybe we'll ask him a couple of questions about the football program too, huh?
The football program's pretty good. You shouted out somebody. I'm going to give a shout out to my stepbrother Jace. He has been invited on a visit to UT Martin football this Saturday.
Yes,
so he'll be doing a visit out there. So I want to give him some props. He plays at Southport High School. So I want to give a big props to my stepbrother Jace.
You failed him.
How I failed him?
What happened 3 weeks ago for baby brother?
Oh, my little brother? Yeah, he got. I mentioned it. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it.
I don't remember you mentioned it. So it's never better late than never.
But he got Play of the Week a couple weeks ago. Fox 59 Play of the Week, high school sports. My little brother Xavier, he got that a couple weeks ago. He's a freshman playing varsity at Southport High School. But he football. They play Warren Central this week. Southport does.
Well, we're gonna see about getting him a transfer. We may have to put him in the transfer portal, get him over to a real school. So
that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying in this house. Nobody wants me. Nobody's listening to me. But
I'll pick him up if I have to in the morning.
Okay, I'll let them know that. Perfect. On the contrary, though, I told him, they got the win against Tech in the first round of sectionals, and I said, enjoy this because you play Warren next week, so your season's more than likely over. But my brother, he also is a really good pitcher, so he's excited to get into baseball season as well for Southport. So I'm excited to see how he does there. But we'll see if we'll keep that little cool down segment, Darrell. Not too bad, as we're about to get into some basketball talk. Anything else you wanted to talk about though with college football before we get into it? Obviously, the coaching carousel. I know you and Brandon Reef both are like, man, Lou Fickell staying at Wisconsin, not the best move in your guys' eyes. I'm not the biggest college football guy.
Well, here's why, right?
But you guys know the coaches a lot more than I do.
Been what they are. And as the great coach says, Tuna says, you are what your record says you are. By all accounts, Luke Fickell's a good dude, solid human being, solid father, solid husband, all those things. But maybe his time has run up there at the University of Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
They want to go back to the glory years of 9-3s, right? They want to get back to the 9-3s, but I just don't know if NIL Wisconsin kind of qualifies and puts you in that 9-3 because, money talks, but I just don't see them being able to take advantage of the NIL like some other schools that are a little further south and don't have the history of Madison, Wisconsin. Right. So maybe their new ceiling is 7-5, no longer 9-3 or 10-2. Something to think about.
Yeah, no, for sure. You got
the last part on college football. Just this, I'm all in. Right. A lot of good things are happening. The one good thing for me last week was Miami getting beat. Right. The talk of the U. Is back. It was overstated, right? I on this show back in week 1 said their quarterback is going to show who he is, In the 2 tough games they've had that they've lost, what has he done? Thrown his players and his coach under the bus. That's who he is. That's who he is. They put a lot of money in the NIL this past year and in the transfer portal. It's not going to bear the fruit they wanted. But maybe this year can be a stepping stone the next year. But you got to have a competent quarterback, and you got to understand just because you're spending a lot of money does not equate absolutely to an 11-1, 10-2 season. But again, I could talk college football all day long, but I know we want to hit some other topics as well, so I'm good with that too.
Of course. I got to watch some college basketball this week, Darrell. AJ DeBonta looks like the real deal. Cameron Boozer looks like the real deal. I mean, we are in a draft, and everybody has agreed with it online, right? There is potentially three generational talents in one draft. I talked about it, I think, with Ramon, but I've also been talking about it just to friends and family, right? If I'm Indiana, if I'm the Pacers, continue to just lose, right? I mean, you lost to Brooklyn this week. You're winning the Tank Bowl.
Well, here's the thing with that, right? You know, I know people say, I didn't want to talk about the NBA. Well, I don't, because it's too much good football. But with that said, I was at the game this week. The challenge for the Pacers is really simple. They don't have enough NBA players to win consistently right now that are healthy, right?
Yeah.
So what I said was, you got Pascal Siakam, who's probably top 5 in scoring in the league right now. Probably, I'm guessing. I haven't looked. The guy plays so hard. I mean, every ounce of every second of every minute he's on the court, he's playing hard.
Yeah.
My fear for Pascal Siakam, and as a Pacer fan, is he's going to wear himself down and potentially get hurt. I don't want him to get hurt. The guy's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a teammate. He's on the bench picking new guys up, showing them what they need to do. He plays I think he's averaging 36 minutes a game right now. Probably needs to be about 28 to 30.
Yeah.
Let the young guys play. I was glad to see they released McClung. You got players in your G League team that deserve an opportunity because they've been in your system. This guy's been in 7 teams and haven't scratched the surface. That was a waste of time. You got a couple of young guys in G League. You can see what they've got. If you're going to lose with your own, not with somebody else's, right? So to that point, players, play your young guys. Don't rush anybody back. But also, too, somebody needs to investigate the medical team for the Pacers. How many this fast, this soon? You got your second round pick, young man out of Marquette. I thought he was a teenager on the bench. Seeing this guy in person, he looks about 5'10", 165. I know he's listed like at 6'3" or something. I thought he was somebody's little brother on the sidelines. He had jeans on and a t-shirt. They don't have a dress code, which is fine. But I thought he was somebody's little brother. Mm-hmm. If he's able to practice, he's up. He's cheering, high-fiving, jumping. Hey, activate him. Let's see what he has. You never know. Play your own. Let's see what happens. Don't rush anybody back.
I'm looking. Sorry, I was looking at stats. I was just looking at stats. I've got my tier list ready for the NBA. Obviously, I need to get an after hours episode up, but I am excited to talk NBA. Of course, it's gonna be fun. I think this has been for the NBA. This has been one of the best starts to a season I can recall in a very long time. I think the product has been very good. We can whine about the fouls. I get it. I get everybody's frustration in that. I get everybody's regards about it though.
This is the thing. You younger folks, you understand. It's not about the fouls. It's about the consistency in the referee.
No, I agree.
And that's not just fouls. It's traveling. It's defense. It's all those things. Not just a foul and guys fall on the floor when they didn't get touched. Yes, that happens, but you got to be consistent, and that's when Rick got thrown out the game the other night. He got thrown out the game, and he talked to the referee number 79. I don't know what her name is. He says, "Be consistent." Yeah, and that's where the frustration is. And this is, I'm a fan. So if you got coaches saying be consistent, it's obvious the inconsistencies are there. And if you got a guy who's been in the league 8 years and you say, oh, he's earned that foul, I still struggle with that. And until those things clean up, you know, your common folk aren't going to go back to turning the NBA fans. They're turning away because of that. Yeah, the young crowd is there because they love all that mess and the Y2K and all that stuff like that. But from a basketball perspective, just be consistent in your calls, because all you want from your players is consistent play.
Yeah,
and that's all I'm saying with that. You know, it's not just the foul; it's just the consistency of the refereeing. What's a foul? What's a travel? What's a hold? All those things. But those things matter because everybody sees it, and it's not going to go away because people say, "Well, you just complain." No, it's there, and you always worry about that. And that's my point. You know, you're going to worry about it, and that's team 1 to team 32, 31, 30, excuse me. It's 30 teams in the NBA. All of them have those situations.
Yeah.
You got this again. I guess it's been a great start to the season. I've only seen 2 games, you know, myself. That's 2 Pacer games. But other than that, I'm sure it's been a great season.
No, it's been fun. Like I said, I feel like this has been one of the more enjoyable starts this season I feel like I've had. I enjoyed last year, obviously. It helps when the Lakers are playing good for me as well. That will always help. Wemby kicking off, looking as great as he looked. Although he's had a couple of down games, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But Darrell, I want to talk about what's up? Why are you laughing?
You just said, well, he's had a couple of down games. He got 82 damn games to play.
Oh my goodness!
He's going to have about 10 to 15 games where he's not Wemby. So be ready.
Well, he's had about 2 or 3 in a row where it's like, okay, all right, he's still a bit human.
So what you tell me is he's human?
Yeah.
So they're not going to go 82-0?
You know, I had some hope, but no, I'm joking. I want to talk about one of you and Ramon's favorite players in the NBA, and that is John Morant. The relationship is continuing to go downhill. Just absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, I've never been the biggest Ja fan. Neither of you two, you and Ramon. The trade
from a
market
play perspective, yes, but the other extra stuff.
Well, even from a play perspective, he's not that great of a player, and I
would disagree. But that's not what you brought up about. It's about the him and the coach, the relationship with the team, and what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
What I say is this: he's shown a lot of selfish tendencies, especially in the interview when they talked about, hey, what could you have done different? Asked the coach, and then the guy asked him in a different way. He says, no, I'm talking about you. What could you have done differently? And he gave a smug answer, basically deflecting the responsibility from himself to the coach. Yeah. And this week I've listened to a lot of NBA radio, and you know, and the consensus is he's right and the coach is wrong. They're saying that the coach needs to get his buy-in for the type of play he's playing. I guess the coach is playing guys in 4-minute stretches. 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah. And I guess Ja didn't like that, but he didn't go to Ja and ask him, was it okay? Which is ridiculous because they fired their coach last year. This guy came in. So Josh, you know, supposedly, if you're the star of the team, you got to sign off on a firing. So if that's the case, Josh signed off on the firing of last year's coach, and he's about to sign off on the firing of this year's coach. Maybe it ain't the coach. Maybe there's 2 coaches. There, right? You know, and again, you know, he also had to sign off. It was what was said on NBA radio on the Desmond Bain trade. He's your star. So if that's the case, maybe you're putting the decision making in the wrong person's hands.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this, and people can be mad if they want in Memphis, and I don't care. I got one of my guys, a Memphis fan, Mr. Tate. I'm sure he's gonna be watching. But I say this: I'm not putting faith in my team in anybody's hands who's walking around brandishing a pistol, acting like it's 4th of July and it's a real live gun. I'm not doing that. So I'm not putting any leadership faith in Mr. Morant. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. And if you do that as an organization, what does that say about you and your leadership as an organization if you're going to allow the face of your team, who's had multiple issues with the law, no one set him up, poor decisions, Yeah, maybe Memphis is the train wreck that me and my guy Reggie said they were to our guy DeAndre Tate.
I gotta be honest. I've never, like, even when there was conversations like 2-3 years back where it was like, is Ja top 5 point guard? And I said no. He's never was a top 5 point guard, and he only was probably slightly top 10 a couple of years back, and now he's nowhere near those conversations. You look at John Morant and his stats over the last couple of years; they have gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. Right now, and I don't care that we're 8 games in because the percentage is not going to get much higher. He's shooting 14% from three. The years prior to that, 30%, 27%, 30%, 34%.
So you're saying he's not a free shooter. So
his peak is 34%, and then people are and the reason why this is so detrimental to him is his athleticism is only going to get worse because he's getting older and the injuries that he's had. His athleticism has gotten worse. He's tried to become more of a shooter. He's not going to be a shooter. It's not going to get to a point where people need it to be.
Young guy, he's still got a chance to be a better shooter because that's work. Shooting is just work.
And even if he does, Darrell, you put the nail on the head. His attitude is the reason why you can't trust him as a player. And I saw Bill Simmons today give out 2 destinations, and I liked only one of them. He said Miami and Toronto, and I do like Miami. I think Miami's probably his best spot. The same way I said, if Zion needs to go anywhere, he needs to go in Miami because I know you don't like the culture, so I'll switch it to a different word.
It's not that I don't like it. I just don't believe it.
To put him in a system where he can maybe thrive in, and they'll use his, because I think that is the problem with Memphis. It's a matter of both sides. Coaching staff isn't using a guy that can be a number one option, and the player is being a diva. You take him to Miami where they will utilize him in a good way. And then you also, Ja's happy at that point because I do believe Memphis is not using him in the right way either.
You just said he's got a temperament problem.
Yeah.
They control things in Miami. You don't control things in Miami. They control things. So right now, just a simple deal is, a rotation he's not happy with. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a hell of a lot more he's going to be unhappy with in Miami.
Well,
from that perspective. And again, as I look here at the conference here, the Heat are currently 4-4, so it's not like they're 8-1, and you're going there. You're 4-4. You're mid.
Yeah.
You may be South Beach, but you're mid.
My rebuttal.
I don't know that that's the answer.
You may not like my rebuttal here, but Jimmy Butler, right before he got to Miami, I think everyone, and even still, he was a little more. Before he got to Miami, there was so much drama with Jimmy Butler. He got to Miami, in Minnesota, when he went to practice, beat the whole starters, went on to jump.
That's contract.
But you get my point. And you saw the way the media took it. It's an example. And then he got to Miami, saw some success. Obviously, it blew up last year and whatnot. You could see the same thing happen with Ja. I'm not saying finals appearances, but stuff like that. But a place that could keep him tamed for a little bit. And probably, let's be honest, you look at Miami's organization in Memphis, there's just one organization is clearly better than the other when it comes to just.
I'm not doubting that at all. What I'm saying is, but that he has to make that decision to fall in, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like anyone else. If you believe more in you than in the process, it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah,
you're going to become a liability and an issue, right? And here's Memphis's problem though. Memphis has got a real big problem. Everybody knows you're about to go for a divorce. So why would I put some stock into you when I know the divorce is about to happen?
That's the whole thing. The trade value from him isn't high either way it goes.
They're not going to get what they deserve from a talent perspective. So if I'm Memphis, I'm just going to have to deal with it because I'm not because it can't make. Listen, it's Memphis. It can't make it much worse. They've got injuries across the board. Not just with him.
You don't think Miami would trade Tyler Hero for Ja?
They didn't want to trade Tyler Hero last year.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me started.
And I don't see them with them, meaning Memphis, getting anything close to value.
No, I agree. But let's be honest. What is Ja's value in your mind?
Well, star power. That's stars. Stars bring people out. People come to I'm gonna give you an example. Last year, during the playoff run, my phone was blowing up. Hey, man, you got tickets, got anything I can get. Because Pacers are winning, right? Stars out there, right?
Nobody's asking for tickets
this
right
year.
now.
Well, because I had the game the other night, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm not giving away tickets, but reached out. Nah, I'm good. Okay, fair. Keep being good. My point being is that's what people want. Star power. When they want that, right? And that's what he brings. And that's a number. That's something you can't put a number on.
Yeah.
Right. But with that said, going back to Memphis again, the good thing for them is their saving grace is it's the NBA. And you just can't just trade someone for a bag of cans. It's got to be cap wise, salary wise, and leveled up.
That's why I said Hero.
You can't have these odd and even trades anymore, like you could back in the day. That's the only thing saving Memphis. Because right now they would probably rather get rid of him for a takeout at BB King's restaurant there on the corner of Beale Street. But they can't. They got to get more than that. And so by the way, if you get down to Beale Street, you got to go to BB's Kings.
Okay.
The ribs are good, but the entertainment is better, man. I always, anytime I'm on Beale Street, I'm going to BB Kings. Just my little plug there.
Okay.
But Memphis, it's still a tough spot, man. They gave this guy the keys. They gave this guy the keys to the house. They gave him the keys to the house, man. And look, he's giving the key to everybody he knows. And people are coming in and out whenever they want.
Trade him. I already said trade him. There's really nothing else I just trade him. Get him out. Don't need him there. If I'm Memphis, trade him. Get what you can get for him. The value's already low. The value's been low for a while from what I'm reading and just trying to figure out on it. The value's already low for him. So we'll see what happens. But you know what time it is, man? You know what time it is? It's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's time for Zay's Ways. NBA tier list. Let's go to the East. There it is, man. Let's go to the Eastern Conference. We're going to start at the bottom. Of course, I've got the Brooklyn Nets down in draft lottery tier. I should probably put the Pacers down there too.
Drop them. Drop. You can't have this without the Pacers being out on there.
All right,
I know, and I've seen them in person. Drop them. Got to.
There we go.
And you know what? And to be quite frank,
well, I don't know. Brooklyn beat Indy. Would Brooklyn beat Indy? No. Brooklyn can go there.
We're good. But what I'm saying is, the way it's standing now, I don't anticipate where the Pacers are right now to change throughout the year.
Yep. All right, let's move up. I don't know and play in tier. Hey, man, Darrell, keep an eye on them Washington Wizards. I said this to Ramon on Sunday. They're going to be
1-7.
Listen, they're going to be the Portland of the East. I think next year Washington's gonna have this all figured out. Alex Sarr. I've been watching a lot of Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr looks pretty good. Alex Sarr looks real good.
Hey, I like Alex Sarr too, right? I like their youth, but you better take Washington and put them at the damn bottom.
No,
Stop playing games.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Listen, I got two. That my bias kicks in right here. I'm sitting on this one.
We've seen your bias already.
I'm sitting on this one. I think Washington's gonna get because even in that Philadelphia game, they were winning and then they choked the game. So I'm like, all right, they can win some games.
Doesn't matter how good you look. It's either you win or you lose. No one cares how good you look. No one cares how many injuries you got.
Well, if that was the case, Notre Dame wouldn't be in the playoff because they've lost to 2 ranked teams. But
this is college football, and they're printing money in South Bend.
Whatever. I hope BYU kills them if they meet up in the playoff. I've got the Raptors, and I don't know. It's hard to tier list the NBA because we're so early in. There's a lot going on, but
we should probably wait till January for tier, huh?
Nah, I don't think so. Raptors are 4-4. They've got the 8th seed, but a lot of teams are 4-4. So, but I still think, I got to see more of Scotty Barnes. I got to see more of Ingram. I got to see how much they gel together. But I don't like Toronto. Bill Simmons, his other recommendation was Ja to Toronto. I'm not completely mad at the idea because I think we even talked about that in the offseason, Ja going to Toronto. We talked about it a little bit. So that was one of the destinations we even brought up. So I wouldn't be opposed to that either.
Oh, what about this? I just hit me. Ja for Ball. He's from the Carolinas anyway.
The Hornets?
Ja for Ball.
For LaMelo?
And flip it around a little
Absolutely
bit. What do you think? Why not? Neither player are winning players.
That's a great point, but no, absolutely not.
Why not? You got to tell me why, though.
LaMelo's way more talented by like a lot. By like a lot. By like a lot.
Cancerous. He's just as cancerous. Are you kidding me?
Not just as cancerous. LaMelo's problem is he doesn't care. He's not a cancer. He's not in the media. Come out. Ask the coaches. Ask the coaches.
Best player is a cancer.
I agree, but it's not
cancer.
And on a talent level, it's not even close. LaMelo's way more talented than Ja.
Absolutely is close. And here's another proof of that. The coach in Carolina done nothing but support ball. They've been very loving of him. What does he do? 3 games in, gets fined because why? Stick his middle finger up to referee. There you go.
I admit it.
Sorry, it's not a gun. I got it. But cancer is cancer. If you've got lung cancer or you got pancreatic cancer, they're both, unfortunately, I've had family members that are both. Yeah, they both have great crazy challenges, right? Yeah, I'll vent about these. I think it'd be a great trade.
Well, my stepdad's watching the show. He said they're both bums.
They're not bums. He's wrong about that. but swapping back and forth would not be a bad thing. That may wake both of them up.
No,
the more I think about it, I'm going to start pining that. I'm going to start posting that. I think that'd be great.
I don't think it. If I'm Charlotte, I'm hanging up the phone.
Oh, please. They're going to either hang up the phone or they're going to be 30-52 this year again.
If they traded for Ja, it'd be the same thing.
That's my point.
But give them a new start. Then it really doesn't make any sense.
Give them a new start. They both need new starts. We talked about that earlier in the year anyway.
I'd rather him go to Toronto than go to Charlotte. But I mean, I was actually, you know what? I'm over here defending LaMelo, and I was going to say I'm bought out on Charlotte. I'm really bought out on them. I don't have any.
He's a bad influence for the best player on the team. That's Mr. Miller from Alabama. He's not even the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Mr. Ball. I love his father, though, by the way.
LeVar?
Yeah. Love his father. You know why? It'd be really simple. Nothing like the love of a father.
That's true.
Nothing like the love of a father. Stands up for his sons and supports them. Nothing like it.
We're going to drop Charlotte. I've got
wow. Congratulations. A little bit of truth here. A little truth, everybody. Isaiah with some truth. Coming to the
We will draw. Here, I got you.
Oh, have mercy. Oh,
Chicago and Miami and playing tournament tier. I know everybody's up in a rave. Chicago's like first or second in the East. They're 6-1. Everybody's so excited. Not buying it quite yet. Chicago does look good. I've watched a couple games now. I've watched some highlights. Their bench is like top 5 in bench points. I think right now, offensive and defensive rating, they're somewhere in the top 10 on both. That's a recipe for success. You know, if the stats are showing me that, you know, obviously we're 7 games in, doesn't really matter, right? Because these stats are a bit true. Let's go back to the Hornets. They're one of the top teams in offensive rating. They're 25th in defensive rating. The Mavericks, top in defensive rating. They're bottom last in offensive rating. So
the great thing about that, though, is
the Mavericks are last in the West.
And that can change. It's early in the season. That can change. You get better on defensive end. Why? Because of better communication. You get more familiar with your teammates. Those things can happen. That's why I say January, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have a Cots Corner on the NBA in January, probably latter part of January, on my assessment of the East and the West. Because I think that we'll have a hell of a lot more information. Well, we will absolutely have a lot more information come end of the season. End of January for the NBA season.
But if you want full NBA season coverage, man, you got to tune into our recorded show, Game Time After Hours. Look at this beautiful beautiful setup.
People are calling me from out of state, man. What's this dude? It's Game Time After Hours.
After Hours.
How much coffee is he drinking before he gets on?
We stay up till after 1 a.m. after the NBA slate's over, and we talk NBA basketball for about 15, 20 minutes. Our Wemby video did 500 views. Our Luka video did 30 views. So tune in to Game Time After Hours if you need full coverage of the NBA season all season long. Great plug. Miami, like I said, I honestly I've got more. I would like to see Chicago be good. Miami, I wish they would kind of blow it up, but we'll see what happens with both of these teams. I've got them in play-in tournament tier for now. I should probably put Toronto up there, but I still want to see a little more of Toronto before I give them that nudge. Now, here's where things get a little crazy. We got a little back and forth in the comments. Eli and Jason talking about the Colts. We'll come back to that here in a second. Not high on the Colts. One great season, Danny Dimes. We'll see. Daniel Jones could revert back to old Daniel Jones ways.
Indiana Jones is all I'm saying. Indiana Jones, baby.
Indiana Jones. All right, let's move up the tier list, Darrell. It's going to get a little crazy as we move up. All right, playoffs and championship tier. There's a lot going on right now with the East, so it's hard for me to put people where I want to put them.
Why? Because it's too early? Is that what you're saying? Is that kind of what you're saying?
A little bit. I mean, I'm not. I haven't seen. I've mentioned it openly. It's very early. I've got Boston still in playoff tier, even though they're probably trying to tank, right?
And 4 and 5. They start off 0-3.
Now that I've got you back,
they're 4-2.
We can have this argument here on the live stream. If it was vice versa, and Brown would have tore his Achilles and Tatum was healthy, they would still be trying to win this year. But
How do you know that?
Because they got to rely on Jaylen Brown.
No, you're wrong. Not only are you wrong, you're 100% wrong. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the role players have been shit this year. The role players have been, because here's the thing: when you have a great team and you got stars, those role players look a hell of a lot better when they got multiple stars there. Now Derek White is having to do more because now he had to step up a peg. He hasn't done it. Pritchard can't throw the ball in the ocean. Pritchard was a 43% shooter last year from 3.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's shooting, but he can't throw it in the ocean. I guarantee he's shooting less than 30%. Then you got the big man who went out west. Then you've got your other guy.
What I'm saying is,
Golden State. I'm just telling you, it wasn't just Tatum leaving.
But what I'm saying is, if Tatum was healthy, they would have made championship winning moves instead of just sending everyone on their way.
Drunk. You can't tell me if anything.
No, I know.
Talk about the facts. That's why Cott's Corner brings facts. The facts are
that's what we're doing.
The facts are Jason Tatum is out. And you can't tell me that the role players are going to be better.
And Boston said, you know what? Our superstar guy is out. We're gonna tank
the
the
star
season.
player. He's not their superstar player. He's a star player. And I'm gonna tell you this: Pritchard has not held his end of the bargain. Neither is Derek White. Those are two guys supposedly last year everybody talked about. They both have played poorly this year. Now that's 3 guys, not just one guy. So I'm telling you is you had your center go to Golden State. You had the other guy, Luke Cornett left, right? That's gone. So you can't tell me they're the same team. They're not the same team. And
they're not. But what I'm saying is, if
New York Knicks were going to kick their ass last year with or without Tatum, they were beating them down anyway.
I get it, but still, what I'm saying is, if Brown would have tore his Achilles, they would have still made championship moves instead of just being like, we're going to let everybody, we're going to move everyone.
You can't say that.
We knew the roster.
The role players have played worse.
We knew the Boston roster was going to have to change after last season. That I'm not disagreeing with.
It changed all right.
It changed, but they altered their plans because of Tatum. They were going to move the roster anyways because of money in the second apron. That had nothing to do with
Pritchard playing terribly or Derek White playing terribly. Nothing.
They're playing bad, but what my point is, they would have made rules
they were heroes
to
last
have better
year,
players around them.
They were heroes.
They were
heroes last year. Yeah. You know why? Because they had 2 great players they could play off of. And a great role player in Cornette, and also a great role player in Senator with the Golden State.
We've got a real argument in the comments. Hold on. We got to come back. We got to come back.
Listen, I'm just telling you this. These are facts. Horford's in Golden State.
Yes.
Luke Cornett's gone.
Porzingis is in ATL.
Derek White and Pritchard needed to step up. They haven't. Well, let me tell you this.
Well.
Since you're a statistical genius, pull up my man's stats.
Jaylen Brown.
Pull up Jaylen Brown's stats, Mr. Okay. I can't go left. If he can't go left, that means every player in the NBA is dumb as a box of rocks. If you're telling me, hey, just cut off his right and he's lost.
He's not lost.
Give me his stats. Give it to me though.
27 points, 4 rebounds.
I can't hear you. Your mic's going out. I'm sorry. No, you went mute. Don't mute. Don't you try it. You went mute. Let me hear it.
Try to mute. My mic cut out. Hold on. I'll be back in a second.
I want to hear his stats. That's all.
20. It's not cooked. It hasn't kicked. There we go. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists.
And can you share with me his stats last season?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me find them. If I can't find them.
We got to do the drum roll on this.
All right. Hold on. Man, we got a real argument in the comments about the Colts. We got
to get to that. That's why people need to follow us. We're live, late breaking, hard hitting. Yeah. We don't run from anything.
Hold on, I'm trying.
We also can't be on here for 2 hours.
It was 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists.
Everyone said at the beginning of the season he's going to have to take on more of a scoring load.
And he has.
Exactly.
They're
now, Derek White and Pritchard, those are your problems. So leave my man Brown alone. Keep Brown's name out of your mouth.
I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm saying it's his fault.
Pritchard's fault and Derek's fault.
What I'm saying is if they thought, okay, Brown can get us to the Eastern Conference Finals or we can live without Tatum, they would have made better moves in the offseason.
You can't say that because you don't know what teams would have gave up. What you're doing, you're guessing. That's fine. A lot of this is guesswork.
A lot of it is.
But from Cott's Corner is going to bring you the facts. Facts are Pritchard and Derek Brown have not held their end of the bargain.
That's fine.
If they had, they wouldn't be 4-5.
Thank you, Eli. Brown is second fiddle.
He can say what he wants. Eli can say it all day long. But I'm telling you this: they're 4-5, and they'd be 6-3 at worst if, in fact, those other 2 role players kept their end of the bargain. Those are facts. We can say a guy's mid, a guy's this. That's feelings. Facts are Pritchard and Derek White have failed Brown. Okay. That's a fact.
Fair enough.
That's a fair fact.
That is a
we
fair
can say
fact.
mid all we want, right? No, he's a role player. He's the best role player in the league. Then he's the best second fiddle in the league. 27, 4 and 4. Second fiddle.
I want to go to the comments. We've got an argument here about JT, right? So we've got Eli, one of our biggest
Eli,
watchers.
I used to like you. It's changing off right now.
And then we got my stepdad, Jason, who's also watching the show. Him and Eli got into it, right? So the first comment of the show was, Eli not high on the Colts. Jason saw that and rebutted, not high on the Colts. Why not? List some reasons. And then Eli came back into the live, said not high on the Colts, one great season.
Reason, Danny Dimes. Reason, not season.
I love this comment right here. 76ers sleeper in the East. They should trade Joel Embiid. But
they're not a sleeper in the East. They're terrible. And if Joel Embiid, no one's going to trade for Joel Embiid. Stop it.
They're terrible.
No one's going to. Listen, Mark.
They're terrible.
At 1 hour and 12 minutes, Darrell D. Cott says no one is going to trade for Joel Embiid. He's terrible. The 76ers aren't terrible, but he's terrible.
I take Joel Embiid over John Morant right now.
Fine, but no one's trading for a 7-foot, 270-pound guy who with bad knees who can't get up and down the court. He's so bad he doesn't even jump the jump circle at the start of the game anymore. Stop it. No one's trading for that.
Alex Sarver's giving him buckets. I can't lie.
No one's trading
for him buckets.
Listen, I'm dating myself. No one's trading for Mitch Kupchak. Google him. No one's trading for Mitch Kupchak.
Jason Rebuttal, he's already proven that one bad game doesn't change that. Colts haven't won in Pittsburgh since Baltimore. And then it said, LOL. What about the seasons before that? Very good point. But another good rebuttal. Same for Baker and Sam Darnold, right? System makes a difference.
Well, it can make a difference. Can. But with that said,
there's another good one. Protection makes a difference.
These 2 arguments, they both have valid points.
Great points. I'm not done yet.
Here's the great part about it. Guess what's going to have? We'll find out in about 5 weeks.
We'll find out when the Colts play the Chiefs.
Who's lying?
That's another good one.
That's the beauty of this.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it. So with that said, both of you all are right. Jason, you're right. Eli, you're right. Make sure you share our link out. Let's get these subscribers up, fellas. This is what we do. Let's go.
It does, but he isn't beating. It doesn't matter. He's basically saying it doesn't matter if he's not beating Allen Mahomes and Herbert. And
we can't say that. How can we say Herbert? Herbert's done nothing. Stop it.
Whoa! Don't throw a stray at Herbert. That was not needed.
You don't bring Herbert. Hey, bring Herbert in here with Mahomes.
Technical. Get out of here. Get out of here. That wasn't even needed. Mahomes ain't even in the playoffs right now, and my boy Herbert is.
Three-time Super Bowl champ. What has Herbert done? Nothing.
Man, it don't matter.
Interceptions in his biggest game. Stop it.
Mahomes looks washed.
Get Herbert out of the Mahomes conversation. Hey, you've been trying to buy Jason off talking about.
No, but Jason,
you better make sure that check cashes before you keep talking about her.
Jason rebutted. He said quarterbacks don't play defense. I've always hate those comparisons. The head-to-head talk. 8 good games versus how many bad ones. He got cuts from the Giants, playing the safe system as Dart. Vikings let him go. I mean, to be fair though, Eli, the Giants are just a much worse team overall than the Colts. The O-line on the Colts is a top 5 O-line.
The Colts are a good team. That's not
Giants.
Worse when we're talking about the Colts. Colts are a good team. Well, there's no comparison to them and the Giants.
We're gonna find out. We will find out.
Hey, we know Danny Dimes can't win a playoff game in New York Giants. We know that for a fact.
That's a good point. We
got to wait and see what happens down there at Lucas Oil Stadium. I got my money on Danny Dimes. Give me Danny Dimes all day long and twice on Sunday. Let's roll, Danny Dimes.
There we go. Jones is like Trent Dilfert, and the Colts don't have Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. They got Sauce Gardner, man, and they got DeForest Buckner. They'll be good.
Hey, don't give the Colts defense that much credit either. All right, they ain't that damn good.
They have no inside game. Brown's a Robin. Brown is indeed a Robin. Great point. Anyways.
It doesn't matter. Robin is carrying the load for that weak team.
Who has a right?
Hey, no, I want to ask, how do you feel about Derek Brown and Pritchard? Since Brown is a Robin, give me some feedback on Pritchard and Derek White. I want to hear that.
Another good point. 76ers are deep. Another great point.
76ers are flawed, and it's a 7'2", 270-pound flaw they got.
Man, they got the generator, man. They got Edgecombe. By the way, he already beat Herbert. All right. Good point.
All right, let's get back to our show, man. We got sidetracked. We got to get back to the show.
All right, we're gonna go back. Let's go back. I'll pull back up the tier list.
We got to at least finish our NBA tiers before we get out of here, man.
Yeah. Of course.
This is the longest tier show ever.
Nah, it's all good. I'm not tripping. I mean,
a 35-minute tier show.
Oh, good. We're back. I've got the Magic and the Sixers in playoff tier. I actually would have had Atlanta higher, but Trae Young's going to be out for a couple weeks. So we'll see how it goes.
Another non-winning player.
All right. Anyways, I'm not even going to get on that one. We've gone down that road. Pritchard and White today. Pritchard and White are role players. Celtics have no inside game. Very good point about the inside game. I'm not going to go about the role players.
So they don't have any responsibility. Got it.
You know who you really should be dunking on? You know who you should really be dunking on is Anthony Simons, who they traded for, and I thought was going to actually play way better for him.
Zero expectations from Anthony Simons, though. I had
no expectations.
Zero. I had zero.
Wow.
Why bring him up when I had zero expectations? When everybody's telling me Pritchard is the greatest backup point guard ever, and Derek White was the greatest trade ever to steal and lock down forward. That's what we were being told last year.
They're not as realistic as us Laker fans. We're a little more realistic, and we'll get into that here in a second.
See, that's an oxymoron. You said realistic and Laker fan in the same damn sentence. You have to damn
Magic. I've got the Magic here, but the Magic have very much disappointed me as a member of the Paolo Banchero fan club. I'm not too happy with the Magic thus far. 76ers I've got right there. They look good, and I can't disagree with that. I've got the Pistons and Bucks at the bottom of the championship tier, the very, very bottom.
Move my Pistons over. Move my Pistons over.
Where?
Towards Cleveland.
Okay. All right.
My Pistons are balling.
I'm not going to disagree with
you.
They're
second in the East.
I'm not going to disagree
and I'm going to tell you, them dudes are balling. Now, I told you at the beginning of the year, Pistons are my team. They're my team now.
I'm going to keep Milwaukee a couple steps back because, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it, please do not be surprised if we get a 2018 Bron Giannis-esque run. There's shooters around this team. That's all. Giannis drives, kicks, drive, dunk, drive, kick. And if they knock down those shots, Milwaukee is dangerous. I watched
they still
the game
got
against
Doc Rivers as a coach. Stop it.
And I agree. That's their biggest flaw right there. But once again, just
they can't beat the Pistons. They can't beat the Pistons.
Giannis is Giannis. I got a lot of faith in Giannis. So I will keep them far back. I'm not gonna put them up here, but I got them far back.
Those 3 teams in front, they can't beat.
They can beat Cleveland.
Healthy on.
Cleveland,
they can't beat those.
Well, that's my point. I think Cleveland is starting to get this narrative of they're just never going to be healthy. So as a full team,
if it's a big word, and we shouldn't use it. With that said, if everything's healthy, those 3 teams beat the Bucks.
That's true. Out of these 3 teams, I honestly don't like Cleveland the most, just because of all their injuries and whatnot.
Man, them Pistons, man. I'm just telling you, man.
Jason, I don't think I've told it. Doc can't win a clutch game to save.
That's another 25 minutes. That's another 25 minutes for Doc. So let's. I
agree. Cleveland will trade. I hope so. I don't know how Decot will feel about this. Can we boo Miles some more? Miles is such a cornball doing the whole close the book. But you already talked about this.
I've shared my thoughts. I'm not going down that path again.
Let's go to the West. Let's talk about the Western Conference. All right, Western Conference. I made some switches, not a lot of switches. I've got Memphis down here at the very bottom because, you guys see all the rumors about Ja and whatnot. I've got Sacramento, and I've got New Orleans. New Orleans got their first win of the season over the Dallas Mavericks, which now makes the Dallas Mavericks at the bottom of the Western Conference. Nico Harrison, you're such a genius for making that trade months ago, so props to you. I've actually moved Phoenix up. Phoenix is starting to get better. They were
4 and 5, man. They're 4 and 5.
They started off rough, but they've gotten a lot better. Utah, I probably need to move down. Because Walker Kessler out for the year. That's a big blow for Utah.
Go ahead and move them down because we know.
Yeah,
we know
that sucks. Because they weren't looking half bad, but not having what's his name is a huge blow to them for sure. But it's fine. They'll have AJ DeBonsa. The draft lottery.
I would bring Dallas down as well, man. I'm gonna tell you why, right?
I'm gonna put them there though.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because if they continue to fade, I don't see Kyrie coming back this year. For instance, they're 12th in the West, 13th in the West, and say maybe 8 or 9 games out. Man, and Anthony Davis, poor guy, and I don't want to feel sorry for a guy making $50 million a year. Poor guy, man, just can't stay healthy, man. It's always something, man. And all accounts says he's a good guy, but just bad things that happen to and we all understand bad things happen to good people, man. And
I've got the Clippers in play-in tier. Not impressed, not like severely like I don't buy them.
They'll shake out.
They're just there. Completely flipped around here, right? I've got Golden State at the bottom. Golden State looked hot in the first couple of games. They've started to mellow out a little bit. So I've got them there. How about them Portland Trail Blazers and head coach Tiago Splitter, man?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got Jeremy Grant putting up 20 points. They got Avia putting up 20 points. They got Drew Holiday putting up 20 points. Shaedon Sharp putting up 18. Damian Lillard's going to come in and give him he'll give him 20 points some nights.
He looks healthy, but he was in street clothes though. I don't know what's going on there.
He'll be all right. I like Portland. Really like Portland. Donovan Clingan's a solid big man.
They're a deep team.
I like Portland. Houston, the whole point guard by committee thing I'm still not rocking with, but you're
Stop it. I saw you all show this Sunday. I'm telling you, you got to buy it somewhere. They're 5-2. Their only losses are to Oklahoma City and Detroit. They've murdered everybody else.
You know what?
The young man is 10. He's 10-4.
Who?
He's only playing 20 minutes a game. He's only playing 20 minutes. You're talking about the guard, Reed Shepherd. 20 minutes a game. 10-4. That ain't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is the first year as a starting point guard. I'm telling you, he's not playing the most minutes as a point guard on the team.
Yeah.
He's getting that criticism. I get it. But they're 5-2.
Yeah.
He's 10-4 at 20 minutes even a game. And if you want to project out now, you're talking about 15-7 as a point guard.
Eli, I agree with you here, right? Another deep team. obviously, if they're healthy, they will cause some problems. I agree with that with the Clippers. They did the same thing with Denver. I can't disagree.
I think the Clippers got to be healthy though, man, and they haven't been healthy in years. So you hope they are, but I don't think there's any signs of they would be.
Yeah,
especially you just heard that I think that business is suing Ballmer for the fake deal with Kyrie. I mean with Kawhi Leonard. I think there's more to it that's going to come out of that. I don't like talking about that stuff, but that may impact the Clippers as well too.
Yeah, we'll see. I've got the Rockets there, but honestly, Rockets and Lakers are tied in my eyes right now. They're both playing really well.
I like the Lakers better right now, to be quite honest.
I mean,
I'm just being neutral.
I'm happy. I'm high on them.
Here's what I would say, man. I'm not like the real Laker fans saying get rid of Bron, but I'd say, you know what, Bron, stay off till you really, really, really healthy. Because they're playing well. Because things are going to change when he comes back.
Austin Reeves not going to see the ball as much. Things are going to be different. But I like it, and we talked about it, and it's being put to use. If you give DeAndre Ayton the ball early, that brother will go out and get you 20 points and 10 rebounds like you need. He outplayed Wemby. That was not talked about.
I think someone called me Nostradamus.
You were right about this, about them needing to get
the dude can play.
Yes.
But here's my worry for Laker fans. Let's see what his numbers are when LeBron comes back.
I agree. Bron's going to change a lot of things. But like I said, I am not opposed. I'm not saying trade Bron. But if you do, I'm not going to be mad. If you trade Austin Reeves, I'm not going to be mad. You got to trade one of them. You can't have both. If it were me right now.
This is Bron's last season, okay, of his contract. He didn't renew his contract. He opted in. This is his last season under his contract, right? They're probably going to let it ride out because you don't trade a guy like LeBron, right?
Jake LaRavia. I know he's talking about.
But the thing is, though, I would have a conversation with him. So, look, man, we appreciate what you've done for the last 7 years.
Tell us where you want to go.
Yeah.
We'll trade you. Yeah. I mean, tell us where you want to go. We'll move you. That's probably the best. Because you look at
them getting Luka. Them getting Luka made LeBron almost irrelevant to that team.
Yes, completely. I just the way Luka and AR are playing next to each other, and then even then, right? The acquisitions that they made, which were frowned upon in the offseason. I said I like the Marcus Smart one. I said LaRavia is a tall wing. As long as he does his role, a tall wing is not a bad thing for a roster. Marcus Smart, we talked about it, Darrell, right? Marcus Smart's not there to be an offensive juggernaut, but he gave them 17 against the Spurs in a close game, and they won. If you get, like I said, if Marcus Smart's going to do his job defensively, if he can go give you 20 points or 17 points, that's a cherry on top.
Well, that's bigger than the cherry because that ain't going to happen often. He wants to mess with people. He wants to be a disruptor, right? 17 points for him. That's bigger than a cherry. That's a big old pound cake with 2 gallons of ice cream.
Eli, you're speaking my mind. The Lakers need to trade LBJ, and yes, I would ask for Jarrett Allen. That is what I would do.
Why would they do that? Stop.
I would ask for Jarrett Allen.
We gotta be real. We can't be doing fantasy stuff. This ain't fantasy basketball.
Where else is Brando asked to go? Maybe Golden State. That's probably the other one. I don't know. I don't care where he goes.
He ain't going back to Miami.
No, he ain't going back to Miami. I'm curious to see if they trade him. I doubt it. It's so unlikely. But you know what? No one thought Luka was going to get moved, so we really don't know.
I think LeBron plays out his last season in LA.
And you know what? We'll see how much things change. But Austin Reeves, we say things are going to change, and they will. But Austin Reeves looked good when it was Bron and AD last year, and he looked good last year. So I'm not too. Everyone's like, well, Austin Reeves will still find his footing regardless.
When the playoffs come, though, that's when you worry.
And I agree. And like I told you on the phone last night, out of all of Redick's flaws, at worst, at his floor, he is a good. He will continue to have jobs in the NBA.
I'm not giving him that credit yet. He's been a coach for a year and 9 games. Sorry, he ain't getting that credit. Talent wins games. Remember the scenario I gave you? You've never seen a jockey finish before the horse, right? Okay. You got to have the horses. I don't care who the damn coach is. They got the horses. So I'm not giving the jockey the credit here.
That's fine. That's fine with me. I like how the Lakers are playing though, right? They're doing a really good job.
Hey, I'm not grouchy. I'm just telling the truth.
Jason's got to come on the pod because you guys
Yeah,
are that'd be funny.
Jason, I know where he lives.
Championship contender tier. I've got Oklahoma City, Denver, San Antonio, and Minnesota. This has not changed at all.
OKC, man.
Yep.
Okay,
and they're injured too. They're still not even healthy, and they
just deep, man. They just
rolling.
Deep, you know? And when you got the foul beta there, man, it just makes everything even better, man.
Yeah. Now that he's got an MVP, a championship, that whistle's gonna be
over, man. It's over, man. You can't breathe on that dude, man.
I see a bad fit when LBJ comes back. Pacers were so successful because everyone accepted the roles. Lakers looking like that now. Where does LBJ fit?
That's what we're saying, yeah.
Well, I think so. I said it right, and I think we can. Everybody's a little selfish, right? But I think, and Bron understands this too. I believe he does. Everyone can disagree with me. This is not his team, and I think he understands this is not his team. And I think for him, if he can take, and we talked about this in the playoffs last year, on the offensive side, if he can rely more on Luka and AR. He's not the best defensive player. Ramon has said this. I have said this. You have said this. But he has the IQ on both sides of the ball. He can clog passing lanes. That's where he is successful at on the defensive side of the ball. So if he puts more of his effort on the defensive side of the ball because he knows offensively, I don't have to be the main guy because you've got Ayton, you've got AR, and you've got Luka. Like you just said, either don't play but you don't have to be the offensive juggernaut that you were in 2018 and before that.
Be smart.
If he's smart, he'll fit in fine. If there's going to be, but I admit it, there is points in this season and in these games where it's like there was a moment last year where they played the Kings and we needed something from Bron. He had back-to-back threes, had a dunk. He just took over, and you need that sometimes. And that is where he's going to be crucial. That's his role. Be smart on the defensive end.
Are you saying you want Bron to be a role player?
You're 41. You're 41 years old. Yeah.
You better be careful because the Bron Tars will come after you. They will come after. Listen, they'll cancel. They'll try to cancel this show.
I see the black. I see the black SUVs coming down the road. Actually,
you better be careful. The Bron Hive. You think the Beehive is something? The Bron Hive. It wasn't me. It was Isaiah, y'all. It wasn't me. It was Isaiah saying that. I'm just saying.
Kevin Durant's in the league. I disagree.
I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree at all.
Kevin Durant's still in the league. But no, I think that's really where Bron's going to succeed at. Have those spurts. You can still facilitate the ball.
Not me.
That's fine. Black SUVs can roll down the street, but
okay,
that's where I'm sitting at.
We'll be ready for Josh on Sunday, and I'll be like, Isaiah's not with us, everybody, but we're going to continue with it. You better be careful. I'm telling you, the Bron Hive is deep.
Hey, they wouldn't. I'm not going to lie. This pod would have already.
You even say that his son was a
no, because Ramon's already talked enough about his son, and we're still here. So
okay, but see, I'm just telling you. Remember, Ramon was out sick last week. Yeah, allegedly sick. I'm telling you.
I live here too.
Be careful. I'm just saying.
Look,
I ain't touching. Hey, Bron is for right now in the NBA the greatest overall player in the NBA that's in the league right now, from year 1 to year 21.
Bron?
For the last 21 years, LeBron's been the best player in the NBA. Not every year. I'm just saying overall.
As a Laker fan, I can be realistic, right? This team looks good. Probably not getting to the Western Conference Finals. You're not beating Oklahoma City. You're not beating Denver. You're not beating San Antonio. Well, you may beat San Antonio, but if Wemby doesn't play as bad as he played last night,
not me.
If Wemby doesn't play as bad as he played last night, we more than likely lose that game by 5 points or 10 points.
He's going to play bad a few more games. It's all good.
Yeah.
Again, here's the deal.
Lakers look good.
From a betting perspective, my two big futures, Lakers and San Antonio. I got a nice piece on those two teams to win the title. And because
Lakers ain't winning the title this year.
They have some they have some big plus numbers. Take advantage of those things. You never know. We said that in 2020, and they came out of the Disney.
No, Lakers were the favorites in 2020.
They came out of the Disney title and won. So I'm just saying, if either of those teams win, I'll tell you what, I'm buying White Castles if either of those teams win the finals.
buying White Castle is
I have a little bit of extra on me.
Man, if the Pacers get AJ DeBonsa, I'm changing all our color schemes to Pacer colors if they get DeBonsa or Boozer.
Way too early. That's June.
Man, we need to get to June. I want DeBonsa. I want be caught wasting money.
Get my boy Tyrese back. Hey, I wasted more money on worse things than that. Believe me.
That's funny. I
don't
like
want to get into that.
NBA season's been great. Lakers look good. I'm enjoying how the season's going.
Good stuff.
But I don't think there's a Western Conference Finals appearance in our future this year. But we will see. I could be completely wrong.
I'm silently pulling for either them or the Spurs.
I put money on the Spurs after Wemby dropped 40. Yeah,
I'm 4,500 when I got in on it. I'm just saying.
I'm ready. I am ready, folks. We are going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Definitely.
We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Great conversation today. Probably one of my favorite.
Love the dialogue.
Yeah.
Love the dialogue. Good stuff.
Great episode today. Darrell.
We're going to chop this up pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to throw this into Opus and then obviously put some segments out too. Really good stuff today. Remember, folks, this Sunday, Joshua Jones, assistant coach of North Dakota State men's basketball, will be joining us on Sunday. We're going to continue to have basketball coaches lined up because, that's just kind of where my connections run deep at. We've got some more coaches in the pipeline.
A couple of surprise announcements, hopefully within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach Hester's weekly interview series with Coach Hester of IU East, Eli. Shouted you and Noah out, so make sure you do go check that out. I think the black SUVs are in the driveway, so I got to go out there and explain myself here in a couple.
Good luck. I'll be hosting the show on Sunday with Ramon. Isaiah may be an undisclosed location, but we'll keep it going though for sure.
But folks, make sure to check out all the content. Like I said, I'll probably have an after-hour show to kind of talk about the NBA slate a little more. Check out Cops Corner. That's me and Darrell's both recorded shows. And then obviously the weekly interview series with Hester. Next episode coming out today. IU East Red Wolves on the way to Reinhardt.
Good luck, Coach Hester. Good luck, Coach Hester.
This Tuesday, Darrell, I don't know what your plans are. Grace College, our buddy Scott Moore is coming to Richmond to take on Mark Hester in the Red Wolves.
That's Thursday. And I got to tell you, I started about 7 a.m. and me and my guys, we rolled till about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Hey, if it's free, it's for me. We're rolling around every restaurant we can get to, everything we can do, everything we can get.
You gotta come to the game.
We're getting it. So there's a chance because the game is in the evening. There's a chance.
No, it's not in the evening. They put it at like 12 o'clock. I don't know why they did that.
That's gonna be tough, man. We got about 5 places that we absolutely go to every Veterans Day. That puts us about 1 or 2 anyway.
Oh, that's why the game's at 12 o'clock because there's no school.
That is. Well, hey, he'll be in my heart though for sure. But good luck tonight, Coach. Hope everything goes well down there in Georgia, and give them hell.
Yeah, on the road right now. The game's actually tomorrow. But shout out to the Red Wolves. Shout out to the pod. We've got some big things coming up. A lot of announcements. 2026 is looking pretty good for the Game Time podcast. Podcast may be going though.
It'll be something else. You never know.
But that's going to do it, folks. We will see you guys on Sunday. We've got some recorded content coming out, so please make sure to check that out. Show us some love. Once again, big thank you to Matt Gaddis. That's going to do it for this Friday edition of Game Time.